Hi, we're here today with MeeraSanyal, the ex-CEO and chairperson of Royal Bank of Scotland with us, and she is the most well-known face of the Aam Aadmi Party in Mumbai, and we're so happy to have her with us today with the Mumbai Mom. So Meera, thank you for joining us today. I'd like to ask you a couple of questions about the most burning issue in everyone's mind today, which is demonetization. So, demonetization has affected all of us, and especially mothers and people who are running their homes. So, we'd like to know your view on how it's affecting us and how we can, sort of navigate our way through it.
So maybe I'd like to start by saying that I think all of us agree with the objectives, the stated objectives of the demonetization. Because which patriotic Indian doesn't want black money to stop, doesn't want corruption to stop, doesn't want to stop counterfeiting notes, doesn't want terrorism to stop. These are all good objectives. The question is, what policy measure is the best measure to deal with these objectives? And a lot of economists, both in this country and abroad, believe that demonetization is not the right step. However, this is not an economic discussion. Time will tell whether this is dealt with black money, whether it has stopped corruption, whether it has dealt with counterfeit notes, whether it has stopped terrorism. Personally, I believe this was not an appropriate measure, and I believe the time will bear this out. But the question which is affecting all of us is the implementation. And I think there's absolutely no doubt that the implementation has been very poorly planned and very poorly executed. As a consequence of which the entire country is standing in queues, and particularly moms. I mean, we have to deal with our homes, we have to deal with our kids. I can certainly tell you that, literally 2 days after demonetization, I was traveling. I had gone with, my mom to Delhi. My son was going for a college debate to IIT Kharagpur. Naturally, I mean, I had left the money which with him was in 500s or 1,000, and I had carried money for my travels also the same way. And we were all stranded because nobody's carrying 20s and 50s and 100s, and we weren't getting money. And it was really quite a tough time. I mean, we spent the first few days, me, my daughter, my mother, my uncle, we were all standing there waiting to try and get some cash to spend. And my husband and my son were doing the same thing. And it's we still, you and I, we still have other means of payment. We can still transact electronically with debit cards, with credit cards, with digital wallets. But there's a lot of people in this country who can't, and this has caused unimaginable distress.
That is so true. I agree with you that we at least have some options when it comes to transacting online. And which brings me to my next question. You've been advocating using UPI as a payment system, which is directly through banks. Could you tell us a little bit more about it, and why do you think that will help us?
So I've been quite vocal about this, and I'd like to state right up front, I have nothing against Paytm and Jio Money. But they are certainly far inferior to UPI. And UPI is something which is, the full form is Unified Payment Interface, and it was made available by the Reserve Bank of India in April 2016. It is developed by the Reserve Bank of India and the National Payment Corporation of India, NPCI. It runs on something which is called the IMPS platform, which is the Integrated Mobile Platform. It's very secure. It's based on RBI servers, NPI servers, which are in this country. Unlike some of the digital wallets, which are not. For example, Paytm is controlled by the Chinese company Alibaba. Jio Money is controlled, of course, by Reliance. So these are secure servers. They are based in India, and they are based on double factor authentication, which means that the payment is more secure. But how does it translate for you and me? I mean, how do I use it? So what I'd request your viewers to do is whichever bank they're banking with, for example, SBI or Bank of Baroda or ICICI or HDFC, go and download. Of course, you have to have a smartphone for that, and I'm assuming if you're watching this video, then you do have a smartphone. Download their mobile banking app, and there you will see a feature called UPI, which is the Unified Payment Interface. Download that, and you will be asked for something which is called your virtual payment address. Now that's very simple. For example, it will be Meera at SBI or Amy at ICICI. I urge you to do it quickly because it's a bit like an email address. If you don't do it fast, you'll end up being Nidhi 2032 at ICICI. So do it quickly, and once you've done that, then you and I can transact. You can transact with your sabzi wali. I can transact with my electrician. You can pay instantaneously any amount from 1 rupee to 1 lakh, free of cost, and it's safe, it's secure, it's quick. What I also urge you to do is please encourage your staff, your sabzi wali, your electrician to do the same thing. Because for this to work, you need an ecosystem. Everyone is on UPI, and basically anyone who has a bank account in this country can be on UPI. Then it becomes a really digital and cashless way of transacting. One word of caution: unfortunately, only 28 banks have so far activated UPI. So please, write to your bank managers and say why, if your bank doesn't have it, please activate UPI swiftly, and then this will be a good way of transacting.
Thank you so much. That was very detailed and very useful to know, Meera. One last request for a message for Mumbai moms.
Look, I'm so delighted that you're doing this, Nidhi. I think each of us, as a mother, we face that time in our career where there are pressures of home. A mother really is the prime caregiver, and so we tend to give up our careers to look after children, to look after older parents, to deal with those issues. I think Mumbai Mom offers a wonderful way for talented women to be engaged with other talented women, to be engaged in a creative way. And I really encourage everyone to do so because we need talented, creative women in the workplace. By the way, these are measures which would really double our GDP. So if we have more women engaged through options like this, you would really work wonders. I mean, that's being patriotic. You'd do wonders for your country.
Wow. Thank you so much. That was a wonderful message. Thank you, Meera.
Thank you.